Executive Ken Jenkins here with us.
All right, good afternoon, Rye. First, let me say thank you for being here because Black Lives Matter. One of the things that, for being here at home in the home of the County Executive George Latimer, and certainly with my good friends Shelley May and Steve Otis that I saw over there, I know that we've been working so hard listening to you and trying to do the things that we can do. One of the things people said to me is, well, you know, Ken, tell us a little bit about what things from your eyes. And I'll let you know two different things. One, my father was a New York City police officer. So when we talk about things with Black Lives Matter and seeing the things that happened with George Floyd and seeing all of the other things that have happened along the years, it didn't just happen in 2020, the horrific things that had happened along the years, I know that the police officers that have the good in their heart, which is 99% of those officers, we need to give them the support that's necessary to get rid of the bad officers and make sure that Black Lives Matter and everybody has the feeling that they're getting the accountability that's necessary. Let's give it up again for our folks in the Senate that took care and make sure the Senate and the Assembly and our governor for making sure that we set some things in place. But you know what? I grew up in the Bronx, and then we moved to Yonkers, we moved to Mount Vernon, and then I moved to Yonkers when I got married a long time ago. But the fact is, things haven't changed that much. I told a friend of mine in Yonkers, who I went to school at Fordham Prep, and I told him, yeah, you can get it for Fordham. I can tell you that that gentleman was a city councilman in Yonkers at the same time. And I was president of the NACP. And I said to him, John, you will never know what it's like to walk into a store and have somebody follow you around just because you're black. You will never understand what that means. And that's why it's so important that you all are here today. Because together we can make those changes that are necessary to make sure that everyone feels the world is welcoming to them, and we make sure that people have the accountability that's necessary. So when a police officer does something wrong, it shouldn't be any different than any of us doing something wrong. It shouldn't take a week when we all watch. And yes, because we have pandemic, and in the African American and Latino and Asian American communities, we've had dual pandemics. We had the pandemic of a disparate impact on COVID and coronavirus, as well as the apparent pandemic of racism. We need to work together to change that. It's not gonna happen alone. And again, that's why having the rallies and the marches is only one piece of it. It didn't get broken in 1 month, in 2020, in a year. It's 400 years in African Americans that we need to make sure that we're making changes. And it's not just enough to say Black Lives Matter, because Black lives do matter. But if we don't make the changes and look within ourselves to say, hey, wait, let me look at my own biases and see what I'm doing with those biases and make myself an anti-racist. And that's where we need to be. Because when we make decisions, and we know, and I know Rye is up in the top 5 of coming back for census, so I'm not gonna say that here, but I know today is the first day of early voting, and I know that all of you have already voted, right? Okay, you will if you haven't, right? So if you didn't take advantage of the absentee process, you need to make sure you're taking care of the regular process and getting out and making sure your vote counts. Because that's the only way we're going to change. Yeah. We got to make sure that we're continuing to work together to say that we are having an opportunity to make systematic change. And yes, the governor's executive order requires now every municipality with a police department to figure out a civilian complaint review board. County Executive George Latimer and I sat down and we already had a task force that was doing some work on training to make sure that the things we could control in the county and work together, we implement those immediately. But we need to take the energy of our young folks. We need to take the energy of all of the people that are working together and make sure that Black Lives Matter. Thank you so much.